thank you. Pretend that we are, I'm not even staring at you. No one's staring at you. Let's do that one more time. Take in a deep breath. Hold it. Put a smile on your face too. And exhale. That feels so good. Wow. Welcome to today. The first thing I want to say is when I look out at you, I am super inspired because I literally have talked to most of you. If we're not in coaching or we're in another tribe together or we are just in the space together, I am honored that we're all here. And I want to set the stage by talking about why this night is so special because after helping so many people through COVID and after all of us who are entrepreneurs, how many of us are entrepreneurs? Raise your hand. We're doing something. We're making change. After talking to so many people, I was like, we're doing so much. We have our capes on and we're forgetting that it's actually okay to take a time to pause and go, go meet some other people that have on capes, right? Go and say, hi, Mark. Who are you? Who's Mark? We're going to get to know who Mark is. We're going to meet Tanya. We're going to get to know who Marusha is. We're going to also tribe. You're going to be able to build with each other. We're going to say hi to Trisha. And we're just going to hear from individuals that I've asked to kind of share a little bit about their words of encouragement. And they're all coming from different angles. And also, we're going to hear from you guys. So this is not just a platform where it's just about me or the people you saw on the flyer, but it's really what I consider just a time to rejuvenate, to get what you need. And so part of that means, choosing to be very present. Because I know for me, I'm not really, it's funny because I bring groups together, but I'm not a natural group person. How many of you guys can understand what that's like? I'm not a natural, like I love groups, but it's easy for me to be an observer in a group. Who can understand that? Like I can go in a group and be like, what's Mark going to say? I can go and what's Ron going to say, but not really be present. But it's when I'm actually really present when I have all kinds of breakthroughs. And I'm hoping that maybe it's not me saying something. Maybe it's someone in the room that says something that for you is like what you needed to hear. So I just want to commend you because it's a lot to show up on a Memorial weekend. You could be doing anything. So can you just please give yourself a round of applause? Like, yes, I came, like, oh my goodness. And so, and for those of you who watch later, if you enjoyed your weekend, that's fine. Tap in when you can. But today it's really a place where I want you to feel inspired. I want you to feel encouraged. And I also want you to have some more hope because I will be honest, when COVID shifted, a lot of things shifted. Unfortunately, we lost loved ones. Entire industry shifted. And what I was looking at is that there were millions of people who were shifting too. Some people retiring early and deciding to go into consulting and to go into entrepreneurship full time. Some people realized that they were not living the lives they really wanted to. So whatever stage you're in, just know that it's okay to be in whatever stage you're in. And this is a time where I'm hoping that you will develop some hope. And so I want to ask you in the chat box, just by thinking about this, what are you feeling about this night of hope? Why did you come? Why did you decide to show up today? Are you looking to hear some encouragement around how you can build your business or how you can build more community or how you can get seen and get heard? I just want to know what made you show up. And also I want to thank my Spark members. So you guys say hello, say hi to everybody. So good to see everyone who's here. So let's just see. I want to see, why did you come today? That's the first question, open-ended question I want to hear. And actually, it's an intimate enough group that we can actually have some of you unmic before I actually get started on my part of what I like to say. So let's just start. I'm going to start with you, Dr. Sue, because I haven't seen you in so long. And you don't, whether you feel comfortable staying on video or not video or no video, feel free to introduce yourself and let me know. It's so good to see you.
You are too. That is so wrong, Dr. A. I'm the one that's the observer. I'm the fly on the wall.
I got you.
I was not going to say a word. I was just going to keep my camera off and be an observer. But I came because I'm curious to know what's going on with other people. I know that this last year was very, very hard for me for a lot of reasons. I had family members close who passed not from COVID, but from other unexpected causes. And so I still have been kind of reeling from that. But the last couple of days, I started doing on my Facebook page this thing called a 40-day self-love feast, where I'm just going live with my own experiences for the next 40 days. And yesterday I woke up and I thought, well, what am I going to talk about? And I realized, oh my God, that sense of dis-ease that I had been feeling wasn't there anymore. And
Wow.
so I am in a space of trying to bring balance. I'm a workaholic. And so I have tried to remove that label and bring some balance, which sometimes feels a little is guilt inducing, but I'm working through that. So I'm here to, I'm just showing up and
I
curious as to
appreciate
know what
you.
about other people are doing.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming in and welcome. You know, I'm going to call on you, Dr. Sue. I can't let you, you're too powerful to let me just let you observe. But if, you know, if that's where the space you're in, I respect that too. But thank you for coming. All right, Gloria, do you want to say hi? Gloria, can you hear me? I'll come back to you. Danielle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I am a member of Spark, and I am just here always just showing up and full of hope myself. So I didn't think I was going to be able to make it, had a basketball game conflict, but that was canceled. So I'm happy to be here and meet everyone and hear some inspiration. If we break off into small groups, hopefully I can be inspiring too.
Yes, thank you, Danielle. And Danielle's going to be one of our speakers this coming Saturday at our Stories of Courage. So thank you so much, Danielle, for being here. Nikisha.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
And welcome. Um, let's see. I'm just so grateful, that we have an opportunity to connect this evening. And I'm looking forward to just what you have to offer for us, so that our endeavors, are supported.
Thank you,
And
Nikisha.
yeah, thanks.
And it's been great, Nikisha, knowing you for 20 years, huh?
Yes, it has been.
All right. Andrea.
Good evening, everybody. I'm just happy to be here. I mean, what sounds better than a night of hope to hear inspiring stories with a lot of amazing people who are doing different amazing things. So, just like she said, I hope that I can be a bit of encouragement to somebody too, but I'm just happy to be here and be involved. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Tanya. I'm sorry. Yes, Tanya, it is you.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm basically here partly because Lana told me to kind of show up.
That's right.
So I'm not quite sure all of what A Night of Hope has, but I like the sound of it. And I have been a part of the group in and out for years, but I have been the fly on the wall, and she called me out earlier. So I said, I don't have a time that I can really be with you, because when you go live and do your things, I have other stuff. She said, so what are you doing Sunday? So I'm here.
Thank you so much. And Tanya also is doing amazing things. Like, I just can't wait so we can today and on and other events get to learn more about each other. But thank you, Tanya, for being here. I appreciate you. Paula.
Whoa, there, I've unmuted. Hi, everyone. And I love the honesty. I'm here because Dr. D told me to come, but no. It's an invitation that I really wanted to accept. And yeah, I have not been able to check in. And I'm just so glad to hear others' inspiration. I've been raying off in different directions, and I'm working on being more focused. I have a bunch of different curriculum I'm working on, and I just want to say, people right now, it's a joyous time, but if people are really dysregulated right now. And so I'm trying to focus on that. I teach mindfulness and mindful leadership and other programs and, trying to support people in that way. And it's just great to be here. Thank you.
Thank
Great
you,
to see
Paula.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Colette. Colette, I'll come back to you. All right. Rosemary. Rosemary just came back from Zimbabwe.
Hi,
Hi.
I am glad I just got back from Zimbabwe in South Africa. I've been gone for more than a month. So I connected with members of my cooperative. So it's wonderful to come back this week and this was going on, so it reinforces my resolve actually to jumpstart and continue where I left off.
Yeah, so good to see you. And I'm glad you got back in one piece. So welcome back. All
Thank
right,
you.
Tippy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tippy, and I am a seasoned exercise therapist, and I work with older adults, inspiring them to age actively and independently. And I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Tippy. And Thelma.
Hi, I'm Thelma Newparker Hirsch. Paula invited me. We just had a little jaunt in South Carolina,
Yay, thank you.
rejuvenating and refreshing. I'm a transformational lifestyle coach. I practice interior design and health coaching, and I'm blending the two into a new exciting business. And I'm always looking to be inspired and to inspire others. So thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome. And Trisha.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Trisha Etheridge, and I have been honored to be invited by Dr. Allana. So I am glad to be here to share any points of wisdom that I may be given, but more so to hear all the greatness that I know that is within each and every one of you.
Thank you so much, Trisha, for being here. Liz, I know you came in and out. I just want to make sure I don't skip you before we begin. Okay. Marusha. We'll do a formal introduction of you shortly, but you can say hi.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Marusha, and I live by two things, humanity and heartbeats. That is what I love to focus attention on. And I do that through helping communities thrive, really finding the humanity again within business communities, helping us really see each other in the communities versus just see each other as numbers. And so, yeah, I'm sure we'll probably talk more about that, but I'm so happy to be here. And I think we all need hope right now, and glad to be a part of this experience tonight.
Thank you so much, Marusha. And Nicola, good to see you. All the way in Trinidad.
That's right. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here to share this night with you all. When Dr. D invited me, I was like, absolutely. It's a great opportunity to share with you, to get some hope myself, and to see if I can, help in any way. So can't wait for the night.
Thank you so much. And I have to say, Nicola was one of the very first people that was part of the very first IWBCC ever. She was there at the very beginning. And so what an honor. I'm trying to hold back some tears, Nicola, because a lot has happened since that first date in 2018. So thank you so much for being here. My honor and pleasure. Mark.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mark. Thank you for inviting me, Dr. Allana. I'm excited to be here. I really feel like it's a very hopeful time. And what I do, I'm a scientist, I'm a consultant, I'm an author. I'm really a change agent, and really my focus is on really wanting to change the world for the better, one thought at a time, not just through my thoughts, but for others. We'll talk a little bit about that. But I think this is a unique time in history, and we can look at everything as an opportunity. So this is the night of hope and a night of opportunity.
I love that. Welcome, Mark. And I cannot skip over my assistant, Nicholas. So Nicholas, do you want to say hi to everybody?
Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm Nicholas.
Thank you, Nicholas, for all you do to keep everything flowing and going. So we appreciate you. And you
No
guys,
worries. I'm glad to hear.
thank you. And if you guys have questions, you can just throw it in the chat box, and Nicholas will put his email down, and so you can also email him as well. So I think we're all welcomed here. So welcome. I'm going to officially start. And the best way to get the best value out of today is definitely as we are talking and as the conversation is going with the special speakers I've asked, I'm going to ask you to throw down your comments in the chat box in support of them. Anytime, that's the way I like to roll. Anytime you hear something that's for you, you can be like, "Ooh, that was for me," or "Thank you," or "I want more," or whatever it is. And we will have time for you to share your links and things like that. But I just want to be integral in the conversation. At the end, we will ask you to drop your links and share who you are. But as the conversation is going, try to keep it on the conversation. And I did ask, Nikisha, did you bring a poem?
Actually, I have a daily devotion, and I'm sure that all of you guys can relate.
Okay, well, yep, go for it.
Okay, well, my daily devotion is based on the concept that we have of a dream being delayed. Whenever you have your heart on something that you deeply desire, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't mean that it's no. It just means that it's delayed temporarily. And I don't know who you guys believe in, or if you believe in anybody, but I believe in God as a Christian woman. And so with that thought, my prayers were answered. With my math tutoring business, generating leads. And, I've been praying to God every day to get me connected with the right people who are going to help to upgrade my life and also lead me to success with my business.
All right. Well, I'm going to thank you there, Nikisha. Thank you. And I think what you're sharing is really important, because sometimes we're working on a goal and it might take us longer than we anticipated, but it doesn't mean that that goal is not going to happen. So thank you, Nikisha.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to ask you to mute yourself. Let's mute you. All right. And so now I'm going to officially start. Give me 1 second, guys. So I want you guys to know that this night of hope, every time in the year, at least twice a year, personally, I love to do a reflection to see all of where I've been and where I'm at today. And I never had a season where I literally have been rubbing the backs of entrepreneurs and leaders who are literally crying in their hands saying, "What do I do?" And again, so that's why I have the night of hope. Many of you already know that I'm pretty active and a go-to person, subject matter expert in communication, digital strategy, and helping my clients, institutions, and more reach new tangible goals, but also, be disruptors, not necessarily go back to normal, but ask, how can I disrupt the industry? How can I do something different? And I want to challenge you as I share some of my story to realize that you can be a disruptor. You don't have to, because a lot of times people say, well, what is it going to be like when we go back to normal? I'm like, we're never going back to normal. Everything has shifted. We may get back to a certain cadence and a rhythm, but what can we do differently to really adapt into this new normal? So how many of you guys want to hear how things started when they were at zero with me and I started this company? Anybody want to know what it was like? All right. So, I was sitting down with Hubster, and if you don't know, I'm always referencing Hubster because he loves to be in the background, but he's very much a part of Tolji. Anyway, we were looking at the numbers and we were looking at the growth of this company. And can you believe we have grown by 9,000%? Let me say that again, 9,000%. And that's like across the board, from you know, from zero to having, you know, no members to even with revenue, all that. And looking at those statistics, I was like, I can't believe that. Because I remember when people told me what I wanted to do was just not possible. And it's important that, you know, there might be people who tell you that what you're dreaming about or the new books you want to write or whatever you're trying to do is not really possible. Have you ever had someone look at you? They may not tell you naturally that's not possible, but they may in cynicism kind of allude to you, you know, you better hurry up and go find that other thing because I don't really know if this is going to really work. And I just want you to know that whatever is motivating or driving you, get back to that why. Every single day when I'm working in my business, I always go, Allana, why are you doing what you do? Because if it's not fun, if I forget to dance, if I forget to smile, there's a problem. So I want to encourage you that hope, or the definition of hope, that idea that there's something more, that idea that there's something that can wake you up every single day is important. So because I promised you Night of Hope is going to be poetry, motivation, and everything else, I want to start off by sharing this poem. I share it all the time, and I need to let you know why it's important to me. Because when Hubster and I left a very comfortable life and we moved to Portugal, we were giving away cars, pool tables, like we were living very comfortable, traveling the world. We didn't have any needs financially. And then we told our friends and family, hey, we're going to give away our cars. We're moving to Portugal and we're going to rent an apartment and we are going to start this business called at the time, it was just called Turning on the Lights. And we're going to start this business called Turning on the Lights. And my friends was like, that's crazy. Like, did something happen? And we were like, no. And Hubster said, no, I'm leaving my job. Anyways, a long story. So there I am sitting on an air mattress with a dip. Okay, that air mattress was not a real mattress. I got an air mattress. We're renting our home out. We're trying to make changes. Then we decide to move to one of the most expensive cities. Who's in that expensive city with me? Who's in the expensive city with me? Boston people? Yes. Then we decide to move to one of the most expensive cities. And I'm living in the attic with my brother. Okay, wait, I love my brothers. I love my family, but it's something else when you're a grown person and you take a risk and you say, I want my life to be something different. So I'm willing to be really uncomfortable and I'm willing to live in the attic. Who's still with me in the story? Who's got, okay. So there I am in the attic, okay. My friends at the time, right when this business started, they said, oh, well, you're back in town, so let's go to this restaurant. But the restaurant, y'all, that they had selected, it was a very expensive restaurant. And it was a shishi restaurant. And at that time, I could literally tell you how much money and cents we had in the bank account. Like, I think it was like $299.39. It was not a lot of money. And I told them, I'm kind of going through a change right now. I'm definitely not living the life I was living before. So can I bring y'all to the dinner table? Is this like too much for you guys? Okay, so we're at the dinner table. All the people that know me for life, they've known me for years. One of them sits across the table. She leans in. She goes, do you even have health insurance? And then she says, and as she says that, I go, waiter, can you bring an extra plate? Because Hubster and I can only afford one meal. We're going to split this meal because we couldn't afford the 2 meals. Like, I need you guys to picture what that is like. It's not like this was a decision we made because I wanted to help others upgrade their lives. So, you know, and then right at the beginning, so Hubster does take a job, but I'm home, I'm laying in my bed, and I just hear, Allana, is this a business you're starting or is this a hobby? Like, what is it? Because mind you, my home was being rented out. Again, we have an air mattress. My computer laptop had a big crack in the middle because we were moving and all kinds of things happened. So there's a crack in the middle. I've got a dollar store table. Am I painting the picture well? Yes, I got a dollar store table and a dollar store chair in this apartment finally that we moved into. No furniture because our furniture is everywhere, some in Europe, some where we used to live before. And I hear, do you have a business or do you have a hobby? And I was like, I have a business. So I get all dressed up to go to my dollar store table with the cracked laptop. And I stand there and I go, hello, my name is Dr. Allana and I'm the president of Turning on the Lights Global Institute with my cracked computer, y'all, and my dollar store chair. But one thing I remember is I called my friends and I said, hey guys, I'm not going to be able to talk to you for a couple of moments. I'm not going to be able to go out. Not that I don't like you. We're still friends, but I'm making some changes in my life and I'm going to need all the time I can take to really figure out who I want to be. And you know what? It was difficult. You know what? There were moments when I felt so alone. I don't know if this is helping. Please put things in the comment or if it's just me, but I remember feeling like, what is going on? But this poem that I wrote really helped me to keep my why together. And it says, hidden gems of my truth, 15 years of silence, 15 years of writing, my Dracula. I was shattered, overwhelmed, familiar, hidden place to be, recreated stagnant peach, holding this vase of resentment, depression for the glooms, colloquium dialogue, and no transparency. I was staring into my well, missing the dreamer, missing my moment, missing ideology, all because they told me to be normal. So I married the concept. And in closets, I became a writeaholic. 5,475 days of regret. Do I need to say that again? 5,475 days of regret, 788,400 minutes of resentment, all because they told me to be normal. And in closets, I became a writeaholic, telling the secrets and unveiling my truths. When I broke down those years into minutes and seconds, and I paused, and I realized I did not want to bury my gifts any longer. That's making me almost want to cry, y'all. When I sat there and I looked out the window and I said, accolades, they're great, but they don't mean, they're not the depth of me. Yeah, all these things on paper, that's great, but that's not the depth of me. When I leave this planet, I would love to know that I took my pain, my resentment, my failures, and I looked back and I found other people that reminded me of myself. And I looked them in the face and said, you are beautiful and you are that valuable. And nothing about you, your experience, what you've been through is a mistake. Woo, that is making me feel excited. I realized I did not need to have a glass ceiling above my head any longer. That glass ceiling about the revenue I could make, the glass ceiling about what I could do, the glass ceiling of my age, the glass ceiling of what I was supposed to be as a married, all those things, right? We got all these little categories of how we should be. I was able to then lift all of that up and say, who do I really want to be? Because can I share something? When you become the best version of yourself, whether you become a speaker, a transformational coach, whatever it might be, and those people you want to serve find you and they look at you and they pause and they go, my goodness, thank you so much for showing up for me. Right, Rosemary? Thank you so much, Nicola, for showing up for me. When they read your bookmark, or Tanya, when they go to one of your webinars and they say that, there is such a level of joy that's going to come to you, right, Marusha, when you have that community. And it's going to be such a level of joy where you wake up, you're like, oh, I could do that again. And you don't feel tired because you feel like you are on fire. That's how I feel every single day. It's not always easy, don't get me wrong, but every single day I'm like literally like bouncing off the chair, like really, because I remember what it was like not to. So today, I just want to say how honored I am to remind you that it's okay, even today, to wipe the slate clean. You could put that in the chat box. I'm going to wipe the slate clean. And what I mean by that is sometimes we're our worst critic, aren't we? Oh, I should have been at this place by now. I should have made this much by now. I should have saved this much by now. I should have invested this much by now. But what if you just said, wait a minute, hold on now. Look at what I have accomplished today. Look at what I'm doing today. I'm in a room, not by myself. I'm in a room with game changers, eagles, I like to call them, people making change. And when you're in a group like this, and I know so many of you with so much heart and so much passion and just what you do, so many things can happen. So today, I'm just hoping that as we think about hope and as we build, this is not the end. This is not a one-off event. It's just like one part of your story. And if you're enjoying it, just jump on the train. Be a part of something that's growing and thriving with people from all over the world. And so today, it's just my honor that all of you are here. And if we have time near the end, we will do a small breakout. But right now, I want to focus our attention on the people that I've asked to actually come as well and share with us. So let me go up here. So today I want to start off. All of you know Ron Missick. So can you guys give Ron a big virtual applause? Because Ron was asked by yours truly to start off. And Ron is an entrepreneur. Ron's a dad, a coach, and a motivational speaker. He's in our Spark program. Ron Missick's longtime mission is to teach young people how to think, woo woo, to understand their uniqueness, know their identity, and their purpose in life. He believes that critical thinking is a fundamental part of this process, and his programs focus on his 5 key principles of success. So without further ado, can we please give Ron a big virtual round of applause? And Ron, I'm going to give you the floor for about 7 minutes. Feel free, Ron. I am just honored to have you here. Thank you so much, and take it away.
Thank you so very much, Doctor, for the invite. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be a part of this night of hope and understand just how truly powerful we are, having gone through this night of COVID and into this new dawn of a new normal, a kind of a mesh of what was and what is. But understanding that our true value is what has been given to us by our Creator, that eternal spark within. I have 3 things to share with you tonight. One is a smile, one is a thought, and the other is a claim. A smile is so powerful. We all respond to it. Have you ever note that you've gotten a smile of approval, a kind of an attaboy or attagirl when you're working really hard to do something? Have you ever responded? Has that ever been an encouragement for you? You can see that it transcends nationality, it transcends societal barriers, it transcends everything. Why? Because it evokes the power that is within. That smile really lets that eternal spark that's within come out. And when you understand just how powerful that is, you understand that we have something that is given to us that we can transform the world with. Have you ever thought about that before? As a matter of fact, I challenge you to employ something in your own lifestyle. Here's the concept: thinking with a smile, okay? Thinking with a smile. I dare tell you, you have light and you have darkness. They do not coexist. One spark will chase away the darkest night, because darkness is the absence of light, not the other way around. And so darkness will always run away from light. And the light that you have within you is that eternal smile. Okay, so we have a smile, a thought. If you are young at heart, there's a song about that as well. You have a fantastic opportunity to stay ever in that inquisitive, ever in that learning process. So from our very origin, from our birth, we are in a growth process. So our growth is continuous. So growing older is important. Growing old is not. There's a difference. Older is a process. Old is the destination. We never want to be old. We are always wanting to be older. because what that does is it gives us that capacity to really kind of synthesize all of our experiences to grow on, not only for us to grow on, but also to pass on to someone else that can use that energy that you have put together in your life experience. And these are one of the things that I'm so excited about because as Dr. said, critical thinking is such a part of everyday life if we take advantage of it. So learning how to think is so vital as opposed to learning what to think. See, we have family, we have culture, we have region, we have state, we have nationalities that teaches us what to think. But learning how, wow, that is where the power comes in. Okay, so we got a thought. First of all, let's swap that around. We're gonna smile, we have a thought, and now we have a claim. The power of the two combined, the smile and the thought, and now claiming that has a power of truly understanding your uniqueness, truly making the power that you have come to life. Do you realize, or you may have all realized already, is that one person can and does change the world? Is that one person you?
Thank you, Ron.
You may,
I want to pause because I have a question for you, which is it's a good discussion because you were talking about how important it is to think with a smile. What would you say to someone who's just gone through so much they've been thinking, but they have not been smiling?
Yeah.
What do you think is maybe just one thing you would tell them about how they can push forward and actually hope that things might get better?
Okay, well, here's the thing. We are vastly more powerful than we think that we are, okay? And it may not be easy, but it's doable. And what we really need to focus on is that we must show up for ourselves. We must stand up for ourselves. We have the courage to do that. We just need to employ that courage. That means doing the things that are uncomfortable, especially what we've just gone through. It has been uncomfortable, but look, we're on the other side of it. And how much stronger are we as a result of that? Yes, we've had losses. Yes, we've had upturns. Yes, we had downturns, but it's changed our lives altogether for the positive. So don't fail on your hurts, grow on them.
I love it. Thank you so much, Ronald. And I appreciate that because one of the things that I've just been doing just because is literally just calling people just with a smile and just saying, hey, how are you? And they're just shocked that I'm calling them. And I would just encourage all of us to call those that we know, people we haven't even maybe talked to in a while, because you never know how, I mean, we're opening up so people are going out, but there are some people who still are not going out. And there are some people who are just literally going through things. And when we call them with a simple smile or just say, hey, how are you? I was just calling to see how people need that, because the thing is that even with social media, you can click like, that doesn't mean you really checked in. I think people, I'm like, that doesn't, sometimes I'll talk to my younger family members and they're like, I already texted you. I'm like, no, but you need a phone call. You need me to see how are you actually doing? So thank you so much, Ron, for just sharing. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for just the reminder that we simply need to smile and we need to show up. Guys, what are you taking away? Put that in the chat box from what Ron has just shared. And thank you so much, Ron, again. All right. So I want to move the discussion to bring up my next guest, Nicola Ramsaron. I have to talk about you first, Nicola, can I? So Nicola and I met and we coached together, and Nicola, when we met, she was getting ready to write her book of poetry. And boy, she was one of the first speakers at the very first International Women Build Confidence Conference. She was one of the few that flew all the way to Boston, not knowing who the heck I was, and came all the way. Nicola, do you want to talk about what that was like when it was just beginning? Because you were there from the very beginning.
Wow, it was a small group of us, and we didn't know what to expect. We came together. We all just had faith in Dr. Allana, and we came together, and we had a blast.
We
I
had
mean,
a
it was
blast.
fantastic. We,
Yes.
and we learned so much, and enjoyed each other's company, and leaned on each other. It really was wonderful.
And I do want to share, it's relationships are really important, especially now, like just getting to know other people who are also making ripples in the world. And so Nicola ended up writing a beautiful book called Shackled Freedom. And Nicola, I'm going to let you just share a little bit from that, whatever you want to share about your book, because really this book is phenomenal. I wrote the forward to it, but it really just talks about, our love for our family members and loving them through challenging times. So Nicola, do you want to talk about it?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So my book, Shackled Freedom, I wrote following the death of my mother. I was her caregiver since I was a teenager, and this is about 3 years ago. We're talking about that she passed away, and she suffered from schizophrenia. So I was the one who was there with her night and day. And so when she passed away, I felt her loss very deeply, um, because really she was everything to me. Despite all of the challenges that she had faced, despite the difficulties that we went through, she was a wonderful person, full of love, full of joy, and I miss her hugs, to tell you the truth. And so when I decided to read a poem for you tonight, I chose, an unusual one. I chose a poem called A Vacuum of Grief, because I thought a lot about what it meant. And it sort of, without, when I wrote it, without even realizing it, I, I sort of walked through the steps of grief. And by the time I finished, I went, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe that came out of me. But it did. And it gave me strength, and sort of it gave me a light at the end of the tunnel. And we're here tonight to talk about hope. And so that's why I thought it was perfect. Because during this global pandemic, each country is in their own place. We have experienced loss in some way, as we've talked about, whether it be the loss of a loved one, the loss of a friend, the loss of a job, the loss of a home, the loss of a business, the loss of a dream, the loss of time. We have each lost something, and only each one of us knows what that is. And the question is, how do we go through that and come out the other end, and be stronger, as Ron was saying? How do we do that? And I I, I just want to say that at the end of the day, I think it really is about leaning on one another, seeking help when you need, um, you know, stepping out of your comfort zone, like we've been saying, so important, very hard to do. I can speak for that because I never stepped out of my comfort zone before. And you know do the I like to call it see your health. Sleep, exercise, eat well, um, do those things, and keep moving, right? And with that, I tell you, we will get this time together. I know you all are on the other side, but even in this time where you feel I'm on the other side, loss is something that takes time for us to really kind of come to terms with and move on from. It 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 is a slow process. So I hope that this poem I'm going to share with you tonight can in some way um, give you a sense of joy. And I think if I were to rewrite the name of this poem, I would call it Life is for the Living.
Mm.
It is hard to put into words how I feel now that it is over. Years of devotion gone in a day. A vacuum of grief, taking with it my emotion. If I could reach out to her in heaven above, I would have just one question. Was it all worth it? Are you really okay? In the present, I am wondering, where did it all go? 37 years, but who's counting? On with the journey, I go. Now I search for peace, putting my pain to rest. Life is for the living. I will put my will to the test, because here I am. I survived, resilient. Even though I fell down, that's human, you know. I got up, dusted off, kept moving. I survived. I will shout it out loud to all who will hear. Life is for the living. And I will put my will to the test and do more than just survive. I will triumph.
Wow. Give her a virtual round of applause. Thank you so much. That was very motivational, very inspiring. I will triumph. I love that affirmation, just to be able to say that. And I love the thought when you said, you know, life is for the living. And I know for me, like when COVID first hit and, we were just watching the news of all the stuff happening, I was like, I need to go outside. Now, if the birds are singing, that at least gives me some hope. If they're whistling, the ducks are still going through the water, they're quacking, at least that hasn't gone, right? And so it just is such a reminder that we can find that strength, even in, because it takes, when we lose something or when we lose a loved one, you do feel the depth of that loss, but then you kind of dig deeper in that and you pull from that and you go, wait a minute, because this person brings me life. As weird as that might seem, I might have been in this dark place, but then I can dig in that darkness and pull out the strength that I didn't even know I had. So thank you so much, Nicola, for sharing that. We appreciate you. And near the end, we will ask everyone to drop their links so that you can support her in her book, Shackled Freedom. She's in IWBCC. So you can also learn more about her. Thank you so much, Nicola. I appreciate you. And now,
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And now we're going to move on to our next individual. And so Marusha Murphy, Marusha, wave your hands so everyone can see you. So Marusha is someone who is just all about community, civility. I could say a lot about you, Marusha. I did my homework, but she really is someone that is someone who's really compassionate and someone full of empathy, in the sense that, look, turn your communities online into more than just, a group. And so Marusha, I just want to have this dialogue with you. Welcome to the tribe. Thank you for stopping in for the first time, and share with us for about 5 or 6 minutes any thoughts you have about what you're hearing and what you might want us to know about building community and so forth. So take it away.
Yes, I was thinking here, I was sitting here and I was saying, okay, Lord, you tell me, what do you want me to say today? Show up. Let me just be a conduit today. And it was, first and foremost, thank you for having me. I'm truly honored, Dr. Allana. And as I'm sitting here, Nikisha, I was asking the Lord, and Nikisha put here in the chat my favorite scripture of all time. And it's Jeremiah 29:11, which says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Thank you, Nikisha, for putting that there. I needed to hear that today. And I think I want to use this time to just emphasize that. The words that kept coming up for me as I was listening and really thinking, I could definitely talk about community. It is as I mentioned, my heart is for connection and really inviting all of us to co-rise together in this journey of stories. That's a powerful way of co-rising together because we hear from one another. So today I feel really compelled to share a story that's been on my heart around this, why this is one of my life scriptures. And it starts with this idea that when I was around 6 years old, my father, we lived in the Philippines. I'm half, my mom is Filipino, Puerto Rican, Jamaican, Chinese and Chinese. That's her family, and my father's from Spain. And we grew up in the Philippines. And as I grew up, one of the things I didn't know is right before I turned 6 years old, we would be taken away from my father. He'd be in hiding for about 4 years. And one of my favorite memories that I have is him and I working on a puzzle together before that happened. And we were sitting there working on the puzzle, and I was really getting, I mean, I'm 5 years old at the time, and I was getting really, really frustrated with this puzzle. Like, can't find the pieces. And he goes, Marusha, life is about the undone puzzle. We have to figure it out together. And I remember it was one of those things. I'm kind of that, I was that weird kid that would think about things deeply at 5 years old, right? Anyone else? Yeah, it's like, so that was my style and my way of doing it. And I remember when there's a long story there, but the long and the short of it is that my father was in essence the royal architect of the Philippines. And when he told Ferdinand Marcos, who was the president at the time of the Philippines, no, we are not on your side. Basically, my mom had to take us to the United States, and we lived, now we live in Florida, and I'm here with my family. And so my father had to be in hiding for some time. And I remember at that time, that's when I learned about this verse. And this verse was so connected to me because I knew that there was another part of the story that hadn't played out yet. My father ended up moving to Florida, building a home with us in 1990, about four or 5 years later. And the story continues. But I thought about that. I've always thought about this journey and just about the ups and downs of our life. I ended up working for a college in Orlando, Florida for 10 years. I was director of multicultural affairs and really loved my career. And then everything felt like it went out from under us. My husband's career in real estate in 2008 was washed away in like a few moments. I was working 100 hours, finding myself pregnant with our first daughter. And next thing I know, I'm like, there's no way I can keep my career and be the mom that I want to be at the same time. That at that time, it just wasn't possible. So I started to reimagine what my life could look like, to be the kind of mom who was really present with her daughter that she was about to have, and to raise this daughter powerfully into her own being. And also at the same time, figure out how to do leadership and identity development work, but do it on my terms. And I remember those words my father, because we at this point as a grown woman, he's still a part of my life. He would say that all the time. Life's about the undone pieces. How do we put those puzzle pieces together? And that's the story. So I want to invite us to think about that. Sometimes we have these pieces in our life that feel so scattered, and we have no idea how all of these things are going to connect. My body
can relate as she's talking. The puzzles that we need to put together. Yes. Go ahead, Marisha. I'm just agreeing with you, letting you know we're still here.
Well, and I think, I want to, the way in which I want to bring it all back is to just remind us that it is, it's taken me 12 years, but here's what I want to share. I'm going to fast forward the story real fast here for you. But really, the truth is what happened was, here I was in my career in 1998 to 2008, like absolutely loving inviting students to be at their best and show up in the fullest version of all of who they are. And I went into this world of online marketing because my husband's career kind of took us there. And I kept putting that intention, like, but how do I bring this work to life in the work that I want to do? And the long and the short of it, my friends, my new friends, is that I have figured it out. Like, I started to give myself opportunities over these last 12 years to try new things, to speak and spark life into people, to learn new skills, like learn how to build a business, to learn how to sell a business, learn how to develop out communities, but not in person, but online. And next thing I know, this, COVID hits, and here I am running a $500,000 company. And I never knew that I could do that, right? But it had to be all these pieces, all these undone puzzle pieces having to come into play to develop out a company that felt so aligned to me that once it finally came together and all these pieces started to come into play and side by side with each other, it was just the exact right time at the exact exact place, and just really began to recognize that it was all because I gave myself permission to be present with whatever was in front of me, and to always keep in mind the things that I loved. And I want to invite us to all to think about that. Like, what are the things, all these undone puzzle pieces in our lives? What are the things about those undone puzzle pieces that we've really loved, that we could look back and be like, those moments, those little bitty moments, or those big moments really shifted me and changed me in some way, but how do they all fit together? It's all about going back to this verse of trusting that there is a story, there is a reason for all of them to be back into play. And I'm starting to see that in my own life. And I think that's what I want to share. It's like, oh, wait, it took 12 years, but wow, now I'm at a place where I'm really seeing the fruit of all of this work and all of these smaller pieces of my story wanting to show up and play together in a more complete puzzle. So as I'm about to have a birthday on Tuesday, and go into a new decade, I'm really excited to see what the next puzzle pieces are going to be.
I love it.
To be. So yeah, that's my encouragement for today. And I'm just honored to be here. And thank you again, Nikisha, for bringing that verse to our attention tonight.
Thank you so much. And Thelma's like, happy birthday, Marusha. Thank you so much for having me join you tonight. All right. Well, thank you, Thelma. And Thelma, I hope you join us for the challenge if you're around. Thank you so much, and you take care. All right. So, we're going to keep it going because I know time is with us, and I want to say thank you, but we do have Mark here with us. Where did Mark go? I can't see you anymore. There you are. So
Here.
Mark is here. Amazing. Mark is an accomplished scientist with 30 plus years of practical experience applying scientific principles in real life situations. He has become passionate about experimenting with the law of attraction after watching The Secret. Mark just released and co-authored a book, and I asked him to stop by and share some thoughts with us as we continue in this night of hope. So how many of you are still with me? How many of you are good? Can't wait to hear Mark. Awesome. So Mark, take it away.
Well, thank you, Dr. Allana, for inviting me. And, first of all, what I want to say is I live with hope every single day. My youngest daughter's name is Hope, and her name is Hope for a reason. She did not come to this world easily. And, so I'm an emotional guy too. So like if you see emotion, I kind of live with my heart on my sleeve. But my youngest daughter, Hope, came into our life within a month of my oldest daughter, Michaela, who was adopted from India. So they arrived at life in the same time. So Hope sprung eternal at that point in time. And so we're at this very transformative time, this time of hope. It's spring, everything is transforming. It's graduation time. My youngest daughter, Hope, is graduating from high school. We're coming out of the pandemic. So we're emerging in this world, and I have great hope. We had a party last night. My Hope is in a very tight group of about 15 or 16 kids that help themselves get through COVID. We had to make choices on who you could spend time with. So last night was a party with the kids and the parents. And when I look to the future and see that group of kids and the energy they had and how they interacted with us, I'm very hopeful for the future of what comes beyond. And we make these impact on everybody that we meet, but certainly on our younger generation. And Ron, you were talking about it, when we can impact them and they impact each other, and then that just ripples out into this world. So we're at this place of hope, right? And we may want to create new things. We want to continue to or continue something we're doing. And then it really comes down to, well, how do I do this, right? There's been so much. I may feel like I've been drugged down by the pandemic, but the law of attraction, and what I talk about in the book and why I titled it Unleash Your Future starts now. You can keep it bottled up and tied up, or when you come to understand your power, you can unleash it. And that unleashing starts now. And really, the law of attraction, simply stated, goes something like, as you think, so you experience. it's not a law that we get taught in school, and it's not a law that maybe people really resonate with or maybe question whether it's real. But I'm here to, as a testament to using it in my life to move from a place where of being successful in a corporate role, but not my definition of success, living somebody else's life. So being successful but miserable, right? So that's not really success. So as I wanted to create my own path, to create this new future, I focused my attention on understanding how the law of attraction works. So not only could I do it for myself on a regular basis, but also teach it. So I want to leave one analogy of how this works to get your mind working for the future. So the law of attraction is like the universe waiting for you to tell it what you want. And so I liken it to a 3D printer. 3D printers they will print, like we print on paper, we print a picture. 3D printers print three-dimensional objects. People use them to print, companies use them to print spare parts for machines. I have a friend who actually bought a 3D printer, and he uses a 3D printer to print parts to build other 3D printers. They even build houses now with 3D printers. So if we think of the universe as a 3D printer, our role, we are the programmer. We program the computer. So in a 3D printer, any design you can put into the computer, the 3D printer will print in 3D reality. Mm-hmm. So if we think as the universe and the law of attraction as the computer and the 3D printer, we're the programmer. And the universe programs, it just responds to our program. And too often we program without thinking. We're on autopilot. So when we can become intentional and know how that program works, and the program has three parts. It's more than just thoughts. It's the thought that you have that you want to have, or more often than not, sometimes we're programming with thoughts of what we don't want to happen. We focus more on what we don't want. Then that thought being energized. So how we energize the thought is the second part of the three-part program. That could be joy and happiness and love, or it could be fear and worry and apprehension. And the third part of this program, so we have focused thought, we have energized thought. The third one is belief. And it's not belief in the law. It's belief on what you believe is personally possible for yourself. The law doesn't need any belief. We don't have to believe in the law of gravity. I never worry about whether I'm going to float off the surface of the earth when I walk out the door. But you have to believe. You cannot manifest anything in life. Any dream you have, you cannot manifest it if you do not believe it's personally possible for you. And we touched on these couple of themes earlier. Who do you spend your time around? What are you allowing into your space? Like if you have somebody who's, I think Dr. Allana, you said, hey, you may have this dream, but we got more people. I mean, I think the world is littered with people that want to tell you why you're not going to be able to do what you can do, but the law is limitless. So we don't have to listen to those people, right? We just have to work on ourselves. And when we understand how that program works, if something's not showing up, if I want to transform my dreams into reality and it's not showing up, I can go back to the program and see where might I need some help? And a lot of times it's on that belief. So nights like tonight, where like-minded people come together just to uplift the soul and uplift the spirit and put you into a positive mindset, man, that's just like a catalyst and a kicker right off the beginning, because it's really difficult to manifest your dreams if you're really down and feeling depressed.
You could say that again, Mark. But that's true. Thank you so much, Mark, for sharing. And I will ask everyone, we're not done yet, but I also want to respect time to say, we are going to continue to have a conversation if you guys want to hang out. But if you need to go, I do quickly want to just share what is upcoming. So we do have the Upgrade My Life in Biz Challenge, which starts on Tuesday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nicholas is going to share that link. We're going to be going in for an hour and 10 minutes every single day. And then next Saturday from 7:30 all the way to 12 p.m., we're going to hear from our Stories of Courage speakers. So can you guys wave your hands if you're a speaker? And they're going to be talking about their journey into becoming entrepreneurs and what they're up to. So that's going to be exciting. The other part of right now is if you really are pressed for time, I respect that. and you are free to go, but I do want to open the floor up for discussion and dialogue, but I want to pause it good so that we don't have people leaving in the middle of a great conversation. So if you need to go, I want to say thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you, Nikisha. Thank you so much. And if you are fine hanging out, then just hang out because I still have more, but I just wanted to make sure we didn't stop midway. All right. So Mark, thank you so much. Did you want to say anything else as you wrap up what you were saying?
No, I like I said, I think everything's an opportunity, and we can look at everything that's happened in the last year and a half, and there are many reasons it's easy we could get ourselves down, but really, it's sometimes at the toughest times. It also is that extra motivator to change, where we really say, okay, and sometimes people would call it desperation, or I'll try different things. So if you haven't really thought about your power, that your own individual power and the power of thought to create, I think this is just a perfect time to actually experiment with it. There's really, at one level, you're doing it all the time, and you're going to be more powerful when you do it intentionally. So I just encourage people to become intentional and begin to work with it in that more intentional sense.
Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate you, and I appreciate every single one of you for sharing. I also want to just share, like, there's been so much between what Marusha shared and between what Mark shared and between what Nicola shared and between what Ron shared. I actually want to just open up the floor because I feel like all of you are here, and I just want to hear from you. Like, what are you pulling from when you've heard these speakers and myself? Like, what is resonating with you when it comes to finding hope, keeping hope, maintaining hope? One of the things I love, because Mark, you sounded so laid back while you were saying it, but I wanted to like jump over the computer when you were like talking about how we have permission to reprogram, y'all. Like, he was dropping like complete bombs when he said, look, you can not only think it, but you can completely reprogram it if it wasn't working, and you can kind of own it and say, this is and I just want to challenge us, like, what do we need to reprogram? I'm going to share my own life. Like, you guys know that I'm an artist. I mean, aside from so many other things, but I write music, I write poetry, I create theater pieces. I mean, what don't I do creatively? But sometimes even as a business owner, I'm like, well, I don't have time for creativity. I'm a business owner. And I'm like, Allana, no, that's not you. You can be an artist and a writer, right, guys? Are you guys with me? I'm like, I can be an artist and be these things, and I can be a business person. So Mark, I want to say to you, thank you for reminding me that I don't have to, I can change and reprogram at any time. Like tonight, you could say tonight, you know what? I heard Mark speak, and I'm gonna go get his book. And I realized I can actually reprogram whatever I've been thinking. I can own it. Because it's true that we are used to certain things. Like, we don't have to debate, is gravity true or not? Because we just sit down and we trust it. But when it comes to things that we're trying to really shift and change, that is where the real work, I think, actually begins. And so many of us are doing some amazing things. So thank you, Mark, for that. Tanya, I'm just calling you. What are you pulling out from today?
I'm pulling on that you keep tip-tapping on my soul, forcing me to come out of hiding.
Yes, come out of hiding. Somebody put that in chat box for Tanya. Come out of hiding, Tanya.
I am learning this year I had to make a decision years ago because I got married at 21. And after 11 years, I went through a divorce that seemed to drudge up every insecurity I think I ever had. So I started making my life simple and picking one word to focus on because I think I have a touch of ADD that's undiagnosed. So I need help focusing. On top of that, I'm dyslexic. So I really need help focusing. And
Wait,
so my word this year.
The fact that Tanya, y'all don't know, the fact that Tanya is here right now with her video on, like, can you guys just give her a big applause? Like, she's really coming out right now. So Tanya, I see you, and I appreciate you. Thank you for trusting this time, really and truly.
So she's making me be intentional. So I'm intentionally showing up And I thank you all for my undone puzzle pieces, Marisha. I can't get this part together. And I reprogrammed by making a decision. So I'm here. Thank you all for inviting me. And I'm getting off because she's going to make me cry.
Well, Tanya, are you gonna? That's okay. I hope I don't make you cry, but if you do, you're in a great place. I want to ask you: are you coming in the morning? Do you have time to make it? Are you working?
I'm still working. My day begins at 3 in the morning. So
Oh, well, we're gonna.
And by the time you do this, I'm in the middle of meetings, running things, making certain, because I work for the federal government, I'm a project manager, so my responsibilities extend throughout a long day.
Well, what I promised you is that we're going to be sending you the videos, and on your own time, just tap in. I'm going to say your name too. I'm going to go, any video. And Tanya, when you tune in, this is for you. So thank you so much. And this is just the beginning. We're all here to support you. I see what you're up to. And so this is just the beginning. Thank you. All right. Andrea, I'm calling on you.
Can get my mouse to work to unmute. So amazing speakers tonight. Thank you all so much. I'll say one of the first things that just comes to mind from Ronald speaking is, talking about that smile. I really, over the last few years, just, I really come to realize how important it is just to smile because of the effect that you have on others, but also the effects you have on yourself. And I read somewhere that your brain doesn't know the difference of, like, when you move these muscles in your face and you smile, doesn't know whether the difference of whether that's authentic or not, but it registers to your brain that you're happy and you release some serotonin, as good feeling chemicals. And so one time I posted something that said something like, fake it till you make it is actually got some scientific proof to it, a little bit. I explained it in a better way, but it's something true to that. So sometimes, even when you don't feel like it, when you put on that smile, you can kind of lead yourself there. And just, I never was an advocate of faking it till you make it, but that actually can help. It really does have an effect. So I appreciated the explanation about smiling. Also, just thinking in general of just what everybody is talking about as far as hope, I just want to say, I'm so big on, I just really think at this point in my life, I've really learned that you really have to pay attention to the energy around you. And I've never really been big on talking about energy and all this stuff before, vibrations that people talk about. But, I think it's just so important as far as for everybody to keep up hope. When you are around certain people or you're in certain situations and you realize that you're getting tired and drained and frustrated, you might be getting a headache or an ache somewhere, just anything that's just kind of heavy and pulling you down, pay attention to like what those people that are around you, like what atmosphere are you in, versus seeing somebody that just gives you energy and just helps you to even be more creative and feel alive and hope. I just think that is so important that sometimes we continue to serve certain people that maybe we should actually pull away from, because in essence it's pulling down our ability to serve the masses and serve more people. So I don't know where this came from, but just from everything everybody's talking about with hope and all, I just wanted to put a little spoon of encouragement to just pay attention to the energy that you're around and be good to yourself, and make sure you put yourself in good energy so we can keep on being great for other people.
Thank you. Thank you. Trisha, thank you, Andrea. That was really beautifully said. Mark concurs. Yes. Everything is energy.
Well, what I got from today was one from Mark, which really resonated with me. And that is that we can reprogram our lives. And we can now create a new 3D print of whatever we want to have occur in our lives. One additional thought that came to my mind was we're uncovering our diamonds that we all are. Diamond is underweight. That's what they really are. They're like 150 kilometers underneath the ground. That's a lot of pressure that they're under. And with that, though, and that volcano actually shoots them up to the top, to the surface enough that we can dig it out. So we're diamonds that can be uncovered, and we're uncovering the greatness and the hardness and the substance that we are. We're invincible and indestructible. So we get a chance to now get the cuts off, and so that we can really be brilliant and shine in whatever we're doing. So today was great with the sense of hope, and that we can recreate whatever we want. and what we think and what we believe and what we feel really does come to pass.
Thank you, Trisha. Thank you so much for sharing. Danielle, did you want to share anything?
Yeah, I really appreciate all the speakers, and I appreciate you for sharing your story as well, because, it just brings everything to, it doesn't matter where you are, you have the power within. And I definitely agree with everything that's been said. You have to be intentional about it. You have to have a belief about it. And so this was really a great night of hope. So thank you all.
Thank you. So I want to just take a moment. Thank you, Colette. Thank you, Liz, for being here. Liz, did you want to say anything? Are you good? You looking for the microphone? Let me see. Can you see that? There you go. You want to say anything from tonight? Oh, I can't hear you. Okay. So, okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I mean, it's so much that I love today, from the thinking with a smile. I have them writing down here. The life is for the living, the undone puzzle pieces. I mean, the thinking and reprogramming. I have a lot that I took from this meeting. So thank you so much for all the speakers. And one for sure that I'm going to be working on is reprogramming. I need to sometimes, when things don't go the way you expect it, kind of just like stay stuck there, and it's like, no, you can actually reprogram it, like Mark was saying. So I'm gonna do a lot of thinking and a lot of reprogramming.
Thank you so much, Liz. So if you guys want to share any of what you've been up to, sharing one handle, sharing your link, go ahead and do that now while I wrap up. I just want to say, wow, I am inspired. It always takes me like 24 hours to digest what we just did, because I'm sitting here just quickly taking in everything. But also just know that this is your tribe. This is your place. I appreciate each and every one of you. Yes, go out and support Mark, grab his book. Go out and support Nicola, grab her book. Go out and support and learn about Marusha. She's also in the IWBCC group. Go out and support Ron and all of us. We're going to have a chance to continue to meet each other as we kickstart the Upgrade My Life in Biz Challenge starting on Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Nicholas will throw out the link there. Make sure you are registered if you would like to be a part of that. We're giving about $1,000 away of vouchers and prizes for those of you who share this event with your friends. And I just want to say, I hope that you felt joyful. I hope that you heard a lot of things to inspire and encourage you. And let them know in IWBCC what you pulled away from tonight. And I will see you guys starting on Tuesday. For those of you who registered, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys, I could talk to you forever. And I just want to just also remind you to know that this is just the beginning. Our community is all about providing space, all about showing you how to be shared. And one of the things I want to highlight before I go is we are going to be doing something called Share Me. So if you're interested in knowing how you can use our platform to talk about what you're up to, how you can talk about your brand and what you're doing, make sure you just email Nicholas that you want to know more about the Share Me, the IWBCC Summer Series Open House. You're more than welcome to come to that. And lastly, we're doing a new community on Clubhouse, and we will be looking for moderators, because this is not my show. This is all about building community. So we're actively looking for leaders, speakers, people with a mission. You have to have a mission, a purpose. And we will be having a special training around that on Clubhouse. There's a lot going on, but we want our community to be very pragmatic and clear with our focus and our attentions. So if you like anything I said, just make sure to email Nicholas and just let him know. I appreciate you all. Marusha, thank you so much for coming. Mark, thank you so much for coming. Nikisha, thank you for sharing with us. And everyone else, I feel like I'm missing someone. Nicola, thank you so much for coming. It's my honor to see you again. And did I call everyone out? I want to make sure I didn't skip out anyone. Success team, Nicholas, thank you so much for holding me together and keeping everything flowing. I appreciate you. And 1 second. Yes, okay. So I'll see you all soon. Nicholas, you can hang on while everybody else goes. Thank you guys. See you soon and take care. Stay hopeful. That concludes our night of hope. Thank you.
Hey,
Well, that was busy.
yes, you didn't get me a message.
I did, and that the booklet for the challenge was different. That was just me telling you to remind me before the challenge to have the booklet together. But
Oh,
that
sorry,
wasn't
sorry.
for tonight.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought it was for tonight. I was like, ah, I think I almost
I
done
was like,
something.
how did you think it went today?
It was pretty good. With I really love. I just love hearing Ron. The way that he